remember one day.
Take them at a certain time every night, no matter what I'm doing.
There was one night where she took some vitamins at the end of our live stream, and then the next day, a bunch of people were commenting, "Oh, she was using at the end of the live stream. Those vitamins were bought by."
Using, I'd be dead. That's the way my body would work.
Yeah. So yes, she does take vitamins at night, and those were actually we actually only have those thanks to our viewers.
Yeah, thank you. You know, my life.
But I think it's really evil. Mr. Green, Mr. William Green. This guy, William Green, he's been stalking me and conjuring hate against me online.
He should plant a garden.
For years.
Give him something to do.
You should plant a garden, William. That's what my girlfriend said. Yeah, you should really, what was it say?
You're stunned.
You know, the bottom line is it's not about identity. You know, that's what this guy one time, toward too. I told another one of my viewers earlier to look up this channel, but I think you should too, okay? The channel is called One Dime. It's the number one, then D-I-M-E. Please look up that channel and watch some of the videos. My favorite one is the one called Acid Communism, because he talks about how, you know, we don't need to worship, you know, the communists of the past or the socialists, the revolutionaries of the past, or even their movements in general. You know, we need to understand the psychology of the people, the ideology of the people, you know, not just, you know, the material conditions, but, you know, because people act against their interest, you know, just because they're persuaded to, because of the cultural hegemony, because, you know, they've been possessed by this ideology, you know, like the Coca-Cola. Everybody knows soda is bad for you, but we all drink it. You know, everybody knows certain things are bad for you, but we all do it, you know. Yeah, you know, the thing is not being obsessed with the past and trying to move forward, you know. And that's one of the things that One Dime said in his videos, is that if we treat these ideologies like a dogma, then, you know, then any rightful criticism against our ideology seems like a personal attack, you know, and that's not the way it should be. You know, we should be able to discuss our ideologies and our beliefs and not take it personally and come to conclusions. God bless all of you. Somebody said any plans for dinner. I believe you had a plan for dinner, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here, let me. I gotta take away the chat for 1 second, so she it doesn't hurt her eyes or whatever.
Yeah. There's old-fashioned pork chops and some salad.
Pork chops and salad. Do we have any more potatoes?
No, I planted them.
Do we have any more vegetables?
I threw them on the ground.
Oh man, no more vegetables?
Salad.
Well, yeah, I like to have some kind of like potatoes.
Oh yeah, there's broccoli too.
Broccoli, so yeah, we should have broccoli too.
Right.
Okay, broccoli.
Steamed or fried or raw.
Let's see what they think.
How should we have our broccoli?
What do you guys think we should have? How do you guys think we should have our broccoli?
Should we have broccoli and salad, or just one?
You said hunt something, my God.
Well, there's plenty of food in the grocery stores.
Fried or baked pork chops, I think she said.
They're going to be, well, I'm going to sear them first, and then I'm going to bake them. I'm going to sear them just to keep all the juice in there.
She's going to sear them to keep all the juice in there, and then bake them. And we're going to have cheesy broccoli.
That sounds good. We don't have cheese, but
you know, when it comes down to it, the reason I'm a socialist and the reason I'm a communist, because I do believe that workers should have democracy. I do believe that the working class should control the government, and that eventually the government will be rendered obsolete thereby. The government only exists to enforce the rule of a small group of people over the rest of the population. It's always been this way since the pharaohs in Egypt, since the kings and queens of the European countries, to the modern day capitalists now. Thank you for the $2 super chat donation. God bless you. You said too many slave apologists in the chat. God bless you. Yeah, we want to end oppression. That's the reason I'm a socialist. The reason I'm a communist. These are communists. You know, I told her today. She's talking about Pablo Picasso. I said, did you know Pablo Picasso was a communist? He was a member of the Communist Party of his country.
This whole time I thought he was a painter.
She said this whole time she thought he was a painter. He was also a painter. He was primarily a painter, but he was also a communist. And he said, I'm a communist because I know that my party is fighting for the liberation of all of humanity. And Albert Einstein said it himself, is the goal of socialism is to advance mankind beyond the phase of man exploiting man, or man oppressing man. You know?
Speaking of Einstein, one of my favorite quotes is he said, imagination is more important than knowledge.
Hey, Tortune, that's not true. It's not called democracy when working class have power over the government. Not only the government, but also all the industries they are involved in. Do you understand that as well? Like when you have, like I worked at Burger King, right? In socialism, that Burger King would be run and owned by all of the workers inside of it. Nobody else. In socialism, all of those workers inside that Burger King would be part owners, and they would have weekly or monthly meetings where they would all come together and vote how much of the money they're going to put back into their paychecks, how much they're going to put back into the business, and how to run this business together. It's called workplace democracy, and that's what socialism is. Capitalism is when one person can become the dictator of any industry, whether he deserves it or not. If you're born from a rich man in capitalism, you can inherit all of his rental properties. You can inherit corporation. Sam Walton or whatever made, and he probably inherited money from his father too, but pointed Walmart, okay? Biggest in America, has groceries and clothes and everything you need. I think they even have them in other countries too. He at times, apparently he was poor sometimes, and he made a rule, a policy for Walmart, that anybody could camp on Walmart. Anybody could park their car in their parking lots, and they would not be kicked out. They could live in their parking lots. And everybody said, wow, what a benevolent capitalist. What a nice guy. And that doesn't make him a fucking saint. It doesn't. That does not make him a saint. But guess what? The reason he could do that, because it was private property owned by him. And that's also the reason why that ended. Because when he died, his children took over, and his children took away that rule.
I think all Walmarts should become classic skating rinks, and we could all go rollerblading.
Great idea. So, you know, when I found that out, I was so depressed, because somebody told me, oh yeah, the guy who founded Walmart, he made a policy that anybody could camp out on the parking lot if they needed to, if they were homeless, and it's really helped so much. But then I've gotten kicked out of Walmart, so I looked it up, and whenever he died and his children took over the Walmart Corporation, they took away that policy. It doesn't matter what all the workers think. It doesn't matter at all. You know, and I'm for a more centrally planned economy, which is one of the aims of socialism as well. In our capitalist society, let me gather my thoughts for a second.
Let me think of the law you want next.
There was an example I was going to bring up.
But he fried his brain.
No, I don't, Andy. Okay, I guess we'll go on that. It's okay. We can walk back now. My girlfriend, she's still recovering. Like somebody asked her in this live stream today. They said, "How did you take care of yourself before you met Austin?" And she honestly said, "You know, what were the exact words? Just barely, or."
I was barely getting by. I almost starved to death, especially because I couldn't reapply for food stamps because I couldn't get on the internet, and then I didn't have the internet, and I didn't even have water at one point, or hot water. It got bad. I'll put it that way. I think I was about to die. Honestly, I was starving to death.
You could have gone to the shelter.
I'm very grateful to have met Austin. There are many reasons why I'm with him, but I am very grateful because he also saved my life in a sense.
Thank you. That makes me so happy because
I'm grateful for all the donations for that reason too.
Because all my life I just wanted somebody who loves me and appreciates me.
And I sure do. Yeah, I gotta walk while I can though, because I do have a
Tortune says, so you are feeling that everybody has same opportunities to get something. You would be happy when everybody will have same opportunity to have nothing. You know, I think you're brainwashed, man. Here, this way.
Okay.
I think you're brainwashed, man. But you know what? I'm not gonna hold it against you personally. Because especially with my girlfriend now, she's a very compassionate person. She helps me to remember to be more compassionate. And you know, I've watched a lot of other socialist and communist YouTubers explain how we need to reach people, you know, by continuing to explain and have a compassion. You know, every single socialist country, almost every single socialist country, some of them claim to be socialist, but weren't. Are you gonna stay out here and watch them?
Yeah, I just have to listen to him.
Okay. What if they run off? Putin is the president of a capitalist country. He is not a communist. Every single socialist country, socialist country in the Soviet Union, especially, that you know, life got better for all of their citizens. The life expectancy went up, health went up, so everything went up. It's proven facts, proven statistics. The lives of the people living there got better. People live better, more fulfilling lives under socialism than they did with the state things were before. And I'll tell you this, the United States has spent so many decades since World War II going all across the world and violently suppressing socialist and communist movements. And then saying they don't work. Putting sanctions with their dominance over the global the global economy, forcing the rest of the countries in the world to not trade with them when we live in a world where we live in an interdependent world nowadays, a global economy. We live in a world where countries need other countries to get resources they need, and we all need each other. And so the United States, with the strangle over the global economy since World War II, has violently suppressed any country where its own people decided they wanted to be socialist or communist. And not only violently suppressed them with bombs, killing them with the military, but also forcing the rest of the world to not trade with them. And then they say, oh, look, after they bombed the shit out of that country and forced every other country to isolate them, isolated them from the rest of the world and bombed them to smithereens. And then they say, look how much you're suffering over there. That's what happens when you choose communism. So it's just like it's just like if you're a kid, right? You want to go play on the playground, and then some big bully comes up and says, "Don't play on the playground because you're gonna have a really bad time and get hurt." And you go play on the playground, you're having fun for a little while, and then the big bully comes up and slams your face in the dirt, kicks you and beats you up, makes you miss a few teeth, and then tells everybody else on the playground, don't you dare play with this one. And then he tells all the rest of them, see, I told you, don't play on the playground. So, this is what the United States has done. And it's beautiful to me that in spite of that, and it's definitely an interesting conversation of where certain countries fall along the lines of socialist, capitalist, market economy, or planned economy, planned market economy. You know, there is an argument that certain nations had to adapt because the global enforcement of capital and capital's markets, and the military force, the sanctions and everything has made a lot of countries have to open up their markets to some capitalism. But that's not forever. But it's very beautiful and inspiring to me how Vietnam and other countries resisted the United States imperialists and other imperialists and still were able to do what they could for their people and not sell out their people. If you want to know a YouTuber who has some very beautiful, not just beautiful, super informative, very educational videos about this kind of stuff. Her name is Luna Oy. Okay? Luna space OI. Okay? She is a Vietnamese. No, it was not only Vietnam War II. You must not know about Korea. They do call it the Forgotten War. There's a very beautiful podcast that goes over. It's called the Blowback Podcast. The first season of their podcast, it's either about Afghanistan or Iraq. I forgot which one they start with. I think it's with Iraq. I'm pretty sure the first season starts with Iraq. And then the second season, I think, is North Korea, but that might be the third season. And they're not communist, okay? Look it up for yourself. Blowback Podcast, BLOWBACK, Blowback Podcast. These are not communist. They're regular American citizens who are not affiliated with any political side, and they tell you the truth. And They don't just say this is the truth. They're giving you sources from the United States government themselves. They're giving you the actual source. They're telling you what the United States government and what the governments of these other countries and what people on the ground actually said happened. Okay? So please look up that if you want to learn more about the Korean War. And there were so many countries. Cuba. You said Vietnam was the only place where they were openly fighting communists. What about Cuba? They sent an invasion force to Cuba, the CIA, signed off by John F. Kennedy, the sitting president. This happened all around the world. And in other places where they didn't send United States troops, what they did was they paid mercenaries. They would send CIA agents and they would hire mercenaries in these countries. They would pay a lot of money to opportunists, because there's always somebody who wants to take power. There's always somebody in the country who's willing to sell out their people to get rich and become a dictator. You know, and when you're faced against the most powerful empire in the world, and you're a small country, you know, it can be hard to have hope, but many did. But some people don't keep the hope and don't see a better option, and they decide to sell out their people so that they can be rich. Like I was about to say, please look up Luna Oi, Luna space OI. She's a Vietnamese YouTuber, born and raised and lives in Vietnam. She is a proud supporter of the Communist Party and of her country's government. They have done a lot for her and her family. And she has super informative videos about her grandparents were around that time, and her parents went through different phases of socialism before they had to open up their market with more capitalism because of the pressure of the after the Soviet Union ended. You know, there was a lot of pressure on a lot of these communist countries who their only trading partner was the Soviet Union. So there's a lot of history to it. Luna, not Lona, Luna. Luna space OI. Please go check out her. I'll even share one of her videos. If you go to my channel and go to the community tab, you'll see a few minutes after I end this live, I'm going to share some of her videos. Thank you so much again, Tortune, for helping me out so much with so many donations. Even though we disagreed on certain things, still appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the chance for you giving me an opportunity to talk about this, spread awareness. Yeah, Luna Oi. Okay, everybody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat right now, please, I just pinned the message. If you want to hear from a citizen of communist Vietnam telling you about her country and how it really is living in a communist country, a socialist country run by a communist party, please check out her videos. She has so many videos. Please check it out. And for the person saying 100 million people died from communism, bro, that is actually a made-up lie where they used the deaths of Nazis during World War II, because a lot of Americans are very ignorant, don't know history at all. They're they're actually not intelligent. They actually don't know the history of the world. So I have to remind them a lot that the Soviet Union and the United States and Britain, whatever you call it, were aligned as the Allies, as they're called in America during World War II. America and the Soviet Union were on the same side, and it was only because of the Soviet Union that the Nazis were defeated. And these people after World War II who are trying to tarnish the name of communism because they're scared of the workers rising up in their own countries, they created this piece of propaganda called the Black Book of Communism. Look it up for yourself, but put just Google Black Book of Communism disproven. I haven't even searched that exact search yet, but I guarantee you if you search that, there is a bunch of people showing you about the lies that even some people that helped write that book admitted that they were encouraged to lie and to make up numbers. Okay? And beyond that, people always die. There's always mistakes. No government is perfect. No system is perfect. But I can tell you for a fact, billions have died from capitalism. How many people die right now in America because they cannot afford the medicine? Insulin is $700 in the United States. Everywhere else in the world is not above $50. In European countries, insulin is $50. In the United States, it is $700 per dose. People die because they do not have that. That is from capitalism. That is from a system that prioritizes profit over people's lives. How many people are dying right now in Palestine?
Oh, fuck you.
And yeah, it's because the United States government supports Israel. Because they have some interest in that area, but it's also because of the pressure from the weapons industries. They're making so much money off of killing people. This is capitalism. You said, bro, they were shooting people here. Maybe you're white, so black people don't exist for you, Tortune. Are you? Yup, looks like you're white. I know it's different in the Balkans or whatever Eastern European country you're in. I know it's different there, but here in America, they shoot. It's not just black people, it's just they shoot black people more often. I've seen videos, you motherfucker. I'm sorry, but you're pissing me off. I've seen videos of innocent people being killed by the cops in America, in capitalist America. It happens so often. America has a disturbing problem of people killing children in the schools. We have seen videos of a school shooter going in on a rampage and cops standing around. You know, whenever they describe these harsh realities of communism and try to explain why they're so bad, just always try to think and try to think of if that's actually happening here. Most of the times it's a projection, because that's exactly what we're suffering through. How many black people have been killed by the police in America? It is off topics what I'm not talking about. No, it's completely on topic. Unless you think that black lives talking. Unless you think they're too worthless to count in your fucking statistics. I don't agree with that. And like I said, it's not just black people. I watch them. I've seen videos of them shoot white people too. It just happens more to black people because of institutional racism that's upheld by capitalism. I've seen a video of a white teenager raising his arm saying, "Please don't shoot me," and they shoot him fucking dead.